Okay, before we start Galatians chapter 5, let's review a little bit and look at where we've been in the last 4 chapters. First of all, Paul's gotten personal. Remember, he's the one who started the church in Galatia. He's the one who came to them and presented the gospel to them and lived among them, so it's a personal thing. And not just that, but he personally received this life-changing revelation about what the true gospel is about, that it's not about being Jewish. And then also he's gotten really theological in the last couple chapters. We've seen him lay out the theological point that we are saved or justified by faith through God's grace, and that it's a gift of God. It's not something that we can do or work for. And now he's going to, in the last couple chapters, he's going to get really practical here. He opens up chapter 5 here. He says, the gospel is for real, and it means you are free. Verse 1, for freedom Christ has set us free. Stand firm, therefore, and do not submit again to a yoke of slavery. We looked at this last week a little bit about not going back to those elementary principles. On the one side, where Paul came from, the Mosaic Law. On the other side, where the Gentiles had come from, it was, those pagan rituals and the pagan lifestyle. And now here's what he's saying. If you try to get to God through the law, then you miss grace. He says that in verse 4. You're severed from Christ, you who would be justified by the law. You have fallen away from grace. Because remember, that's what the Judaizers were trying to do. They're trying to say, hey, listen, you guys have to go through the law now. And Paul said, no, you don't have to go to that. That's what Paul had come out of. Now, he says this. He says his sort of summary statement is, through the Spirit, by faith, we hope for righteousness. Verse 5, he says, for through the Spirit, by faith, we ourselves eagerly wait for the hope of righteousness. Now, maybe you read this and this verse might kind of stick out at you and you think, wait, what does that really mean? I thought we were already free. Verse 1, it says that we have been set free. But now verse 5, it says we're hoping for this righteousness. So what's the deal there? Well, it's really this tension, this sense that we're already free. In one sense, we're already free in Christ in verse 1. But in another sense, we wait for righteousness because we recognize we still have sin in our lives and we're still going to battle this. Now, we're going to talk more about this in the third video today. But for right now, why don't you talk about that before you go on to the second video? Talk about if you've ever experienced that tension. So hit pause and do that, and we'll see you in the next video.